Welcome to the Great Canadian Blueprint. My name is Ian, and today we're stepping into the world of the Indigenous trappers, who are the backbone of Canada's fur trade. Their barter system with the Hudson's Bay Company, HBC, didn't just exchange goods, it transformed economies, shifted cultures, and laid the groundwork for Canada's real estate markets. The trading of pelts for things like muskets and blankets fueled an economic engine that shaped cities like Winnipeg. Let's dive into how this system worked, its implication, and its lasting legacy. The fur trade began in the 1600s, but it exploded after the HBC founding in 1670. Indigenous trappers were essential, harvesting pelts from Canada's forests and rivers, things like beavers, fox, marten, otter, and other pelts they could find. These pelts weren't just animal hides, they were a currency in a global market. Destined for London's hat makers and fashion houses, by the 1830s, the HBC processed 100,000 pelts annually, with beaver pelts alone worth £1 each in London, about $250 in today's money. Trading posts like Fort Garry, York Factory, and Fort Victoria became hubs where Indigenous trappers met European traders. The barter system was the glue of this trade. Unlike cash economies, it relied on direct exchanges, standardized by HBC's Made Beaver system, the MB system. One MB equaled a prime, worn beaver pelt, softened by a year of use by Indigenous trappers. Now, this wasn't just random. It ensured pelts were ready for hat production in Europe. This system's simplicity masked its complexity, tying Indigenous communities to a European economic machine. The HBC offered a range of goods, each priced in MB. Here's a snapshot of the exchange from 1820s at Fort Garry. Blanket would be 4 MB, musket 10 MB, kettle 2 MB, 2 pounds of sugar for 1 MB, half a pound of tobacco for 1 MB, and a gallon of brandy for 1 MB, and a string of beads for half an MB. These goods were practical and symbolic. Muskets and kettles improved hunting and cooking, while blankets and beads signaled wealth. A musket costing 10 MB might represent 10 pelts, a season's work for some trappers. In London, that musket was worth £2. But the HBC marked it up, profiting on every trade. By the 1840s, Fort Garry's ledgers showed thousands of pelts exchanged yearly, with blankets and firearms topping the list. The barter system linked Indigenous economics to the HBC, creating both opportunity and dependency. Trappers gained tools that boosted efficiency. Muskets tripled hunting yields compared to bows. Metal goods replaced bone and stone, saving time and effort. But this came with a catch. Trappers needed HBC supplies to keep producing pelts, locking them into the system. The HBC's monopoly amplified this. It set prices to maximize profits, undervaluing pelts and overvaluing goods. A trapper might trade 10 pelts worth £10 in London for a musket worth £2, netting the HBC £8 per deal. By the 1840s, the company's fur trade revenue hit £100,000 annually, about $25 million today, with profit margins up to 50%. This wealth funded the HBC expansion, new posts, ships, and shareholder payouts in London. Debt was another trap. Trappers could buy on credit, but a bad season left them owing the HBC. Records from Fort Garry in 1835 show trappers with debts of 20 to 50 MB, repayable in pelts. This cycle kept communities reliant on the HBC, stifling independence and competition. The barter system reshaped Indigenous life. Traditional economies based on communal hunting and crafting tilted towards individual trapping. Mary Black Rogers, an ethnologist, noted, "The fur trade turned hunters into capitalists, chasing pelts for goods rather than subsistence. Some moved to fur-rich areas, sparking conflicts. Socially, goods became status markers. A trapper with a musket or blanket stood out, shifting power dynamics. Chiefs who controlled trade grew wealthy, while others lagged. At the same time, smallpox carried by traders cut populations. Some Cree bands dropped 50% by 1800, weakening resistance to settlers. This system evolved over centuries. Early trades were diplomatic, with gift-sealing alliances. By the 1700s, it was market-driven. And by the 1800s, paper money appeared in settlements like Red River, alongside the MB. And the HBC adapted, adding goods like tea to meet new tastes. The fur trade drove real estate booms as well. Trading posts attracted settlers, inflating land values. In the 1820s, uncleared land near Fort Garry cost $1 per acre. By the 1850s, with the Red River settlement at 5,000 residents, cleared farmland hit $5 per acre. The HBC sold 100-acre lots at $1 to $2 initially, rising to $10 by the 1860s. When Winnipeg became Manitoba's capital in 1870, urban lots near the forks reached $20 per acre. By 1910, downtown Winnipeg land soared to $500 per acre, a 500x jump in 90 years. Indigenous trappers powered the fur trade, moving millions in pelts and sparking real estate booms. Their barter system built Canada's early economy, but at a cost. Cultural shifts, dependency, and environmental strain. Beaver populations crashed by the 1850s, forcing change. Yet their work echoes in Winnipeg's skyline and beyond. Join me on my next video as we explore Montreal's fur trade elite and their real estate empires. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to the next one.